Good afternoon. This is Mayor Turner. I just wanted to catch everyone up on a few things that have been going on the last few days. Start off like we normally do, where we tell the totals that are around West Texas. Amarillo has 207. Lubbock has 407. Abilene had coronavirus get into a factory. So overnight, their number doubled. So now they are up to 126. San Angelo is at 41. Wichita Falls is at 58. Midland is at 42. We stand at 58 still. And just to give you a little bit of an update on another town out in West Texas, El Paso is currently sitting at 482. Go over kind of the cases, what we're seeing. We have currently 58 cases, as I said before. Negative, we have 612 tests. Pending test, we have 223, and I'll go over that in just a moment. So total tested is 893. We did have 2 citizens pass away at medical center in the last 24 hours. So the death toll is now up to 4 in Ector County. And recovering, we have 23. Now, as I told you yesterday, Thursday, the recovering, they actually have to be symptom-free for 10 days before they can say they've recovered. So that's why that number does not climb very quickly. Give you a little bit of information on the hospitals. Medical Center currently has 4 patients in the hospital. They have under investigation, which means they've been tested, and they're suspicious, is 8. Currently, they have 166 tests pending. 107 of those are from the Madison Resort, which is a nursing home. Also, it's a partial rehab center where they can go in and do physical therapy, occupational therapy, things like that. ORMC has 1 confirmed case in the hospital. They have 115 pending. 98 of those were also from the Madison nursing home. So what happened yesterday, which is, I can't tell you how proud I am. When the Madison nursing home had their first case, the person was taken to medical center. They needed to go out and test everybody, which is roughly 200 people. What the hospitals did was medical center called ORMC and said, we need your help. So one hospital took all of the patients and tested them. That was ORMC. And medical center tested all of the employees, which is a great, very proud of our hospitals working together to address this. These are a lot of tests. When these come back, I hope our number does not jump, but it may. So we will just have to see as that goes. A lot of people are talking about ventilators, and you hear it, especially on the national news, that there's a shortage of ventilators. The report that I get from the EOC, which is Emergency Operations Center, tells me the percentage of ventilators that are available. And as of right now, we have 86.3% of our ventilators in Ector County that are available. So we do have a few people on ventilators, but it's a very small percentage. So we do have the ventilators if somebody ends up needing it. I want to show you a new graphic we're going to be using every day. This is one somebody sent me. It was actually from Del Rio. So you will start seeing this on my Facebook. It basically gives very similar information to what I give out, but it just gives it in a graph. I want to talk a little bit about what I've been up to the last couple of days. I've had a conference call with Representative Landgraf from our Texas House representative. Also had a conference call with Mike Conaway, who is our U.S. representative from the U.S. House. Also talked to both senators, Senator Cornyn and Senator Cruz. And just this doesn't really pertain to COVID, but I want to kind of give you an update on what Senator Cruz talked about the oil industry. What happened to drive the oil price down is the story he told us was when COVID started to hit the U.S., the Russians and the Saudis both decided it was a good time to flood the market with crude oil because you're starting to see, at that time you were seeing crude demand go down because China and U.S. are two of the largest users of crude oil. And so what happened was when they flooded the market and with the decreased demand because of COVID, that's what tanked the oil price. That's what drove the oil price down into the 20s. 13 senators from the U.S. Congress called Saudi Arabia and basically said, you're an ally and you did this to us. And either you decide you're an ally or you're going to be an enemy of ours like Russia. We give them a lot of military help, Patriot missiles that defend them from missiles coming from Iran or somebody else. And they had a very candid discussion, very heated discussion from what he said, that said either you are our ally or you're not. And if you're going to continue to do this, we are going to start pulling things away. He mentioned the military. He mentioned the weapons that we keep in Saudi Arabia, such as the Patriot missile batteries and things like that. So that is why they cut the deal that they did. Russia and Saudi Arabia decided that they were going to cut their production of oil, and they did that last weekend. You haven't seen that increase the price for one simple reason, which he explained, is demand. Currently, every day in this world, they use around 100 million barrels of oil. Well, right now, all of the economies are shut down. The two largest users, China and the U.S., are really not using much crude oil. And if you haven't heard, they say an average between 85 to 90% of the big airliners, jets, are on the ground. We need to have those jets flying. We need the economy to open back up to increase the demand for crude oil, which will help the price. So that was something I found very interesting and I wanted to share. So yesterday, Governor Abbott had a press conference and he talked about slowly moving Texas forward to start opening the economies. It wasn't, in my opinion, really the news we needed because he was very vague. I think he's a very good governor. I think, he has his hands full. But for West Texas, we really needed to look at a couple of different things that I don't think he listened to or he addressed. We also had a conference call. All of the county judges and the mayors from the state of Texas were on a call. And he talked about the organization he has put together. He has 4 doctors that he is listening to, very highly respected doctors. Some of them have national experience. Most of them are from Texas. And he has put together a business group that is going to help start looking at opening up the communities. And there are 3 gentlemen that are on his big committee that will help Odessa Midland. One is Bobby Cox. Bobby Cox owns Rosa's, Taco Villa, Texas Burger, a lot of real estate, things like that. Another one is Ray Perryman, fantastic economic mind. He is, credentials are huge. And so there's also a gentleman that works with, you've heard people talk about the PSP, the Permian Strategic Partners. The leader of that is also one of those. He's former, he was in the Bush administration, I believe in the Bush administration. And so those are all heavily invested in oil. And I think that will help our position in Austin. There were 2 executive orders that were signed. Executive Order GA 15. In a nutshell, what this addresses is hospitals. Many of the hospitals are really hurting from a revenue side because they can't do elective surgeries, such as if somebody has a knee replacement they need to get done, or if they need to do an exploratory surgery where maybe somebody thinks they have cancer. They're really very limited on that. So this one addressed the hospitals, and I'm not going to spend much time on that because that just addressed the hospitals. Executive Order 16 is to open up. It's really kind of an odd thing to put out. I'm just going to read you part of it that talks about what it's designed to do. In a nutshell, what it is doing is saying we are going to open retail, but it has to be retail where you can place your order and drive up and they can put it in your car. Say if it was a furniture store, you would have to buy the piece of furniture. They could put it in your pickup when you go up there, or they could deliver it to you. But it is only for retails that can be taken to the curb. So it says starting at 12:01 a.m. on Friday, April 24th, which is next Friday, services that are not essential services, but that may be provided through pickup, delivery by mail, or delivery to the customer's doorstep in strict compliance with the DHDS, which is Department of Health for the state of Texas, can be opened. So it's hairstylists can't open up because you can't deliver that to somebody. So some retail is going to be open, but it's very limited. What he said next was going to happen is the 27th of April. They were going to make some more recommendations and probably some more executive orders to start to move forward, opening a few things, and those would go into effect on May 4th. So President Trump has also put out some things. It's very similar to the executive orders that were put out by the governor. He's left it to the governors to open up their economies. And one thing that he said at the very end, which kind of, I think, shocked most people, was if you have a plan, send it to us, and we will look at it and tell you if you can do it. Well, in my opinion, as mayor, I had to enforce the essential versus non-essential businesses. But every business is essential to those people that are inside the business, whether it be the business owners, whether it be their employees, whether it be the suppliers they buy from, and every business is important. So I've had the pleasure of working with, for the last 2 years, a group of 7 mayors: Amarillo, Lubbock, Odessa Midland, Angelo, Abilene, and Big Springs. And we had a conference call last night to talk about something that Mayor Payton has put together. It's a really good document that looks at opening up all businesses on a percentage basis. In the city, we have things called it's called a CO, which is the amount of people that can be in any one building at a time. So if you build a business, the city comes out and says, well, your building is this size. We're going to give you this certificate of occupancy that says you can't have too many people in there. This program opens the city in a restricted but planned out fashion. And one thing we've talked about as the mayors is using the power of 7 cities in West Texas to lobby for a plan like this so that we can start to responsibly open up our community. I have a feeling if we wait for the governor, there's still going to be a lot of businesses left out. And this is why I'm taking this plan to council on Tuesday. We are going to talk about it. As they say when I'm presentation, this has good bones. It has, the general idea is really good. I think we do need to make some adjustments to be able to kind of taper it to our city. But if we have all of West Texas working together and lobbying different, I can lobby Brooks Landgraf, Midland can lobby theirs, and everybody is lobbying the state and the national and the governor. We can work to maybe get this to work for West Texas. I would rather start to open all businesses to get people back to work. I put forth an argument on the email that I sent to council. And I said, look, everybody's being affected by coronavirus. But in my opinion, there are 2 cities in the state of Texas that have been hit more by coronavirus and the economic conditions we have right now because of, one, our drop in oil prices. Number 2, the coronavirus, which has killed demand for oil. So we're dealing the oil crisis and we're dealing with coronavirus. And yes, they are interlinked. But a plan like this, I believe, will have the best outcome for our community. What it will be, in a nutshell, is we say on a certain day, we are going to open 20% of the occupancy rates for all businesses. Different businesses, different sizes. And we may require things, saying everybody that enters and all the employees are wearing masks. We're not going to open up like we were before because that is not practical. But if we're wearing masks, if, say, restaurants open back up and allow customers seating, the tables have to be 6 feet apart. When one customer leaves, that table, the salt and pepper shakers, the ketchup bottles, and everything is wiped down and then ready for the next customer. So we had a meeting scheduled already on Tuesday. It's our regular scheduled meeting. That's why I'm going to go ahead, and this is going to be an emergency item on that meeting. And we're going to talk about it and start to look at what we can do to go ahead and move forward. My fear, like I said, is if the governor keeps opening things at the slow pace he is, it's really going to put a lot of people in financial bind. And I understand what he's trying to do, but I've told you time and time again, it really depends upon us as citizens when we open our economy back up. If we do what we're supposed to, somebody's sick, you stay home, you're washing your hands, you're social distancing, we will keep the numbers down. But if we have people that are going out and being irresponsible and they're sick and well, I'm going to go do this anyway because it's me, and they go out and they go into Walmart and they cough on somebody, it gets other people sick. So it is really just up to us. Something we are also going to talk about on Tuesday is either strongly recommending that you wear a mask when you go into a retail establishment, or we may require it. It will really depend upon what council feels. Masks are becoming more and more available, especially with the ones that you can make yourself. You can even use a bandana, they say is better than nothing, and things like that. But that's kind of what we're looking at. And I got something even from the Texas Restaurant Association saying, we can use these restrictions to start opening things back up. Because there are a lot of people in West Texas that are hurting. A lot of people, message me on Facebook or things like that and say, we're struggling. We need to get back to work. And that's why we're going to go ahead and start to work towards that. It will not be until probably after the 1st of May, because we're going to have to get it. If council decides this is the way we want to go, we've got to get it to Austin and lobby everyone we can. We've even talked about doing a Zoom press conference with 7 mayors to talk about this, just to show everyone that we're very serious. And, it's what I think we're going to have to do to get it there. Because some people say, well, I don't want to wear a mask. Well, if you're not wearing a mask and you're sick, you can give it to somebody else. And so it can't be about us. It's got to be about what's best for the community. So I appreciate you. Usually I don't do these on Saturday, but I really thought this was important enough that we get out and tell everybody this is what's going on. If you want to go and read the executive orders, they are on the website. Also, I've gotten some people saying, well, I'm not on Facebook, but I want to watch the videos. So we were having the city go ahead and post those on the website. So if somebody doesn't have Facebook, they can go and watch those there. Talk a little bit about, I try to thank somebody every time. Easy Rider has done a fantastic job of continuing to do what they do. There are a lot of people that don't have cars and they need to get from point A to point B, especially people on dialysis and things like that. And I just want to say thank you to all of those with Easy Rider, the mechanics, the drivers, everyone for just keeping that going. And continue, please, to pray for our first responders and everyone in the hospital, the nurses, the patients. All of them are doing an absolutely amazing job. We should know the results of the test on the firemen we've had to run that were exposed in the EOC. So we're hoping to get those and get them back on the job by Monday. Hearing right now that the drive-through testing will probably be open not this Monday, but a week from Monday. So we're looking forward to get that going. It is a drive-through. So what we're going to do is you have to have a doctor's note to be able to do that. But there will more details be sent out. I will tell you everything I can in the next few days. But please enjoy the rest of your weekend. God bless each and every one of you. Please keep your city, your state, and your nation in your prayers. And God bless Odessa, God bless Texas, and God bless the USA. Thank you very much.